Well, local doctors are sending a new warning to COVID-19 test takers as the data shows the effectiveness of throat swabs in detecting COVID-19. NBC4's Matthew Herchick spoke with a pair of local doctors who say that Central Ohioans should try to replicate the test at home.
With long lines at testing centers and at-home kits flying off of pharmacy shelves, local experts say we're learning more about throat swab testing, when it should be used, but more importantly, when it shouldn't.
I would not recommend putting a home test swab in your mouth.
That's the caution Mount Carmel infectious disease expert Mark Herbert is sending to Central Ohioans testing for COVID-19 at home.
The FDA has been very clear about following the instructions on the home tests precisely.
Health experts agree on how at-home antigen tests should be performed, but they say there is data to suggest throat swabs may be useful going forward.
So I can tell you I've had cases in patients where their nose PCR is negative, and then the suspicion is so high that the following day they get another PCR done and it's positive at that time.
With Omicron symptoms more likely to appear in the throat versus nasal cavity, doctors say throat swabs may be more effective in detecting the latest variant.
It requires knowledge of the anatomy, it requires training, and it requires a certain degree of fortitude in order to properly swab someone's throat.
But right now, only PCR throat swabs are approved by the FDA, meaning they can only be performed in a healthcare setting.
When you look at what the FDA evaluates on how the test performs, it's based on the environment of the nose and not the environment of the mouth or the throat.
But doctors warn more variants could still arise.
This is applicable to Omicron. Hypothetically, there may be another variant that we see later on this year or next that performs differently.
Both doctors say that as we learn more, throat swab testing could become more common, but it would take an update to the FDA's emergency use authorization to do so. Local for you in Columbus, Matthew Herchick, NBC4.